Hello and welcome to today's video. So this time we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Doctor Who magazine Target book special. Now this one even comes with a Target book and a rather funky double-sided poster. So we're going to open this one live and take a really detailed look at it. So sit back, relax, and let's get to it. Okay then, so before we actually open it, I think it's probably worth admiring just how lovely this looks in its current form. So I really like the fact that a little flash along the top there. Now this is issue 561 of the Doctor Who magazine, dated March 2021. Now it's got a £9.99 UK cover price and $19.99 US dollars. It says new and exclusive inside, a Target book plus wall chart. And on the back there we do get a little glimpse of what's included. Now thankfully I was thinking I might need to cut this one to actually get it open, but it does appear as if there's like a sticky bit down the bottom here. So let's see if we can actually get it out. Now it's still going to be a bit stubborn. I really don't want to damage it, so I got my scalpel here. I'm just wondering if I could go through, get into it that way. It might be a bit easier. Yeah, so let's just put like a paper knife here. Go in the bottom way so I can keep the plastic bag intact if possible. Yeah, I think that's probably the best way to get into it without causing too much damage. At least that's my theory. So let's slide the poster out. We'll have a look at that one in a minute. There's the magazine itself. Nice Target logo there. And then there's a book, The Library of Time. Brilliant. So there's the sort of the bag on its own. I think that's worth saving, so I think you should, if you do get one of these, open it carefully. Well, should we have a little look at the book and the freebies first of all then? So very nice to hold these. Got the new logo, but with the Target logo in the corner there. Interesting looking at the gold on this. It does look as if there's like a tiny little bit of wear, possibly. A bit difficult to see, perhaps, but it looks like the gold's slightly not quite as sharp as perhaps it could be. Cover artist-wise, I like the fact that they've sort of used the dot style, very similar to Chris Achilles' style. Reminds me a bit of like the early Doctor Who and the Daleks, Crusaders and Zarbi, those books. It's going to look lovely on the shelf, isn't it? That's for certain. Let's have a look at this bit on the back here. So the Library of Time contains a universe of dangers. Travel back through the Doctor's adventures, old and new, with exclusive extracts from BBC Books' upcoming set of Target novelisations. So these are the new ones, of course. Through these modern retellings, you can join the Fourth Doctor fighting for survival on Zanuck, and the Seventh Doctor as he becomes the Eighth, the Fifth, Sixth and Ninth Doctors as they battle Daleks in their own inimitable styles, and the 11th and 13th Doctors as they face terrifying threats in Earth's murky past. Oh, and watch out for the library's curiously proprietorial custodian. So, yeah, extracts from The Pirate Planet, Resurrection and Revelation of the Daleks, the TV movie, Dalek by Robert Sherman, Crimson Horror, and The Witchfinders, plus an exclusive introduction by Jonathan Morris. And there we are, presented with Doctor Who Magazine 561, not to be sold separately. Brilliant. So that's what's in there. I mean, obviously, you know, these are just new to Target books, but or in Target editions, as it were. But a lot of this we have, of course, seen before. There we are. But it does sort of feel like a Target book. Lengthwise, it's actually a bit bigger than an original Target book. 170 pages. We weren't generally blessed with that many pages, but it does feel quite nice, I have to say. It's interesting that it hasn't been reset. They have literally just taken the first like chapter from each book, because the actual type, so the height of the type and the typeface is different from story to story. Let's look at that, much smaller than that. Which, you know, I mean, it is what it is. We can't really complain. We'll leave the poster to last, I think, because I'm going to need to pull the camera out for that. But let's have a little look through the actual magazine. So, a big finish ad on the back there, but really nice sort of cover on that one. I do like the Target artwork there that they've utilised into that. And it's interesting that the magazine still keep coming up with stuff that can be covered. And this is their, I mean, they did a Target special last year, so very interesting that they've pulled, it must have done very well, because they have pulled out all the stops. And what better time with the new Targets on the way. So obviously I'm not going to read this word for word. We're just going to have a quick look through at the Target specific articles. Good stuff. So here we are, Brief Histories of Time. And this is a look at the new Doctor Who paperbacks, but also with a view to sort of celebrating Target's history. I honestly believe that part of the popularity of Doctor Who was completely tied in with the popularity of the Target books, and not just in the UK, but also when they started getting exported to America. Yeah, brilliant stuff. Strange wheezing and groaning filled the air. That's sounds a very Terence Dicks line, doesn't it? Like he had a plain, open face. There he is. Looking at one of the little internal illustrations there. Looks like from Terror of the Autons. They used to love it when the books had an internal bit like that. The Doctor is required, yeah. So it's a really nice little sort of potted history of the Target books. You're never going to beat the David Howe book. I mean, it's just unbeatable. But it's great to see them in the public eye, as it were. So that's that. Now we're having a look at Rob Sherman on his adaptation of Dalek. What a great episode that was, wasn't it, when Doctor Who came back? Just superb. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. And The Crimson Horror, another great one from Mark Gatiss. Witchfinders, one of the more recent episodes. And I suppose it must be a real treat to say you've been published by or published in a Target book. I remember, certain authors saying they didn't think they'd made it until they'd been published by Penguin. So here's a look at the 24th season 24 box set by fellow YouTuber Jason Arnott. If you've never come across Jason's channel, it's highly recommended. He's a great guy, got some really great stories to tell, and a big Doctor Who fan. I remember watching the later McCoy seasons, but only ever watching them the once when they were going out. They didn't have quite the same charm for me as the earlier series. Good stuff here. Here we are, so Target books. This is looking at the cover variations. So quite often the books would be reprinted multiple times over the decades, and they'd end up with several different covers. I don't know what the record is for the Target book with the most different covers, but it's probably one of the earlier ones, something like the Daleks, I would think, has probably had the most jackets, but I could be wrong. A lot of the early books have had at least 2 covers. And of course the later blue spine editions. That was, a famous mistake there where they did the iteration of the then current Cybermen look from around the time of Revenge of the Cybermen, when in actual fact they should have done the more cloth-faced ones that were featured in the story. But of course, when that was written, the story was lost, and it wasn't like they could just go back and view it in the archive. And there's David Howe there. He's definitely the expert on Target books, David, and I would say Dale Santos in the States, who has perhaps the world's largest collection of original Target cover artwork, and I believe every edition of the books that has been published. Excellent stuff. So that's good news. Little tribute to Philip Martin, writer of Vengeance on Varos, amongst other things. Obviously quite a big TV career. Met him just the once in Bath, I think, in about 1985, 84. Really, really nice chap. Sadly passed away recently. And we've got the comic strip. There we are, look at Underworld. Not one of my favourite stories, I have to say, but it is what it is. Then a few reviews, some YouTube reviews. James Goss and Katie Manning. Look at the latest Big Finish stuff. Little advert for Who Won. There we are, the latest books, Blu-rays and audiobooks are examined and reviewed. Coming soon. Look at what's coming up in the world of Big Finish for the future. All past Doctors, busily and happily, I'm sure, employed. Great stuff. And there we are. So that just leaves us to have a little look at the poster. So let's open it up. So it's got the books in publication order, I believe. And some people have actually taken to getting theirs framed. So they're not in publication order, they're actually in broadcast chronological order. So starting with Unearthly Child and going up. So some of them they've used the original jackets by the look of it. So that's quite good. Yeah, they have, like for the Daleks, they have used the original, block logo version rather than the re-released version. So that's excellent. That's actually really good. And they've mixed in the Virgin ones as well. Oh, it's superb. Yeah, I mean, this, I guess, alone is worth the price of admission, isn't it? Absolutely fantastic. It's got a huge poster here. And they've dropped in all the new ones like Resurrection there and Revelation with the new Target jackets on, right up to the Witchfinders. That's actually a really, really nice piece of work, that. And they've even got the first edition of the Two Doctors, which is quite tough to find. Yeah, that's really good. Now, is there anything on the inside? Yes, so it's double-sided. So what? Right, so that's the original in first edition. Wow, so this is quite something else. So on this side, they've got the books in the later jackets. Oh, I never thought they'd do that. So look at this. So now if we have a look at this side, these are the reprint jackets. So there's an Earthly and the Daleks. These are the blue spine versions. I suppose some of the books only ever had the one printing, like Keys of Marinus, for example, or the Time Monster. They stuck with the original print of that. But the rest of them are actually the reprint jackets. Well, who'd have thought it? They really have gone to town, haven't they? And that's really taken a bit of work, that, for them to pull that off. So they are commended. Absolutely commended. That's very nice. Of course, that does mean that if you're going to get it framed, you're going to need to buy two, of course, so you can have each side framed, or make the decision, do you prefer the original covers or the reprint jackets? Well, for me, I think I'm going to have to say it's the original covers. They're the ones that I'm going to be most interested in. But yeah, so thankfully, by just carefully slicing the bottom, these go back in quite nicely, so we can keep the package all together. So there you go. Yes, worth $9.99. I think it's almost worth that for the poster alone, but the other bits certainly, yeah, it's a really good packed issue, and with the little exclusive Target book, yeah, that's great stuff. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed that look at this great magazine. If you have enjoyed today's video, do please give it a thumbs up. Do please consider subscribing for regular vintage Doctor Who content, and I shall look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye.